So I, 28 male, always thought I had my life pretty dialed in. I'm a spreadsheet guy, you know? 5-year plans, retirement goals, the whole 9 yards. For the last 3 years, my girlfriend was the biggest part of that plan. We just bought a house together, the kind with a big yard for a dog we hadn't gotten yet. Life was on track, except for one massive, recurring problem. Her ex, for 6 solid months, every single weekend belonged to him. Not an exaggeration. Friday after work, she'd drive to his place. Sunday night, she'd roll back in, looking completely drained. The reason she gave was that his mom had passed away about a year ago, and he was still a total wreck. I'm not a heartless guy. I got it for the first month. And the second, by month 6, my empathy was basically a puddle of evaporated fumes. We had the same circular argument every week. It was a Tuesday, and I was trying to figure out the wiring on a new smart thermostat while she packed her overnight bag. I just don't get it, I said, trying to keep my cool. It's every weekend. We own a house now. Don't you want to, live in it? With me? She gave me the look, the one that silently screamed, "You're being so difficult. He needs my support. He doesn't have anyone else. He has a dad and a sister." I looked him up. I admitted he has friends. Why is his ex-girlfriend from 4 years ago his one-person emotional support animal? The temperature in the room dropped. It's not the same. We have a history. He can be real with me. And you can't be with me? The words just came out colder than I intended. She let out this huge theatrical sigh. That's not what I mean. You're just twisting things. I need you to be supportive of me supporting him. For 6 months straight, every single weekend. The calm I was fighting for just broke. This isn't grief counseling anymore. This is a second life. I feel like I'm just a dude who co-signed the mortgage. And that's when she dropped the bomb that blew up my whole life plan. She tossed the sweater on the bed, crossed her arms, and her jaw got tight. You know what this is really about? It's about trust. If you don't trust me to hang out with my ex every weekend, then maybe we shouldn't be together. It was an ultimatum, plain and simple. A test. I was supposed to fold, apologize, tell her she was right, and I was being a jerk. And honestly, for a second, I almost did. Years of conditioning to keep the peace nearly took over. But then I really looked at her, standing there ready to throw our entire future away for a guy she supposedly moved on from. And I realized she wasn't asking for my trust. She was telling me my feelings were irrelevant. A weird sense of calm washed over me. For the past year, my company had been offering me a killer transfer to our London office. Huge promotion, big money. I kept turning it down because she didn't want to leave her hometown, her bubble, her ex. I looked her dead in the eye. All the anger just vanished, replaced by a crystal clear thought. You're absolutely right. Her smug expression melted into confusion. Wait, what? You're right, I said again. We shouldn't be together. I walked right past her into my office, the thermostat still in my hand. I opened my laptop, found the latest email from my boss about the London job, and hit reply. My fingers moved faster than I could think. Hi, director's name. I'd like to formally accept the London position. I'm ready to move as soon as possible. Apologies for the indecisiveness. Certain circumstances have recently become much clearer. Thanks. My name. I hit send. The sound of the email going out felt like a starting gun. I went back to the bedroom, where she was still frozen in place, and grabbed my big suitcase from the closet. What are you doing? Her voice was tiny. Packing, I said, pulling open drawers. You drew the line, and I'm agreeing with you. I just took a job in London. I'm out of here. She managed a shaky laugh. You're not serious. You're just trying to scare me. Do I look like I'm joking? I just kept packing. Shirts, socks, my entire life, folded neatly into a bag. The panic in her eyes was finally real. You can't just leave the house. We just bought this house. You wanted the house, I said flatly. I was fine with the downtown apartment. You can have it. The lawyers can figure out the details. I zipped up the suitcase and grabbed my laptop bag. She stood in front of the door, putting her hands on my chest. The tears started. Wait, please, she begged. I didn't mean it like that. I was just mad. I love you. I know, I said, and the worst part is, I think I believed her. But you love having your backup plan more. I'm done being the guy who waits for you to come home. I moved her out of the way and walked out the door. The next 2 days were a blur of calls with HR and movers. My phone was a constant stream of her texts and calls, switching between begging and blaming me. I ignored all of it. Friday morning, it buzzed one more time. A text from her. What are you doing this weekend? I was sitting in the business class lounge at Heathrow Airport. I snapped a selfie holding my passport and a glass of champagne, with the plane I was about to board visible on the runway behind me. I sent it with no text. A flood of missed calls came in, followed by a single message. How could you? I blocked her number, switched my phone to airplane mode, and got on the plane. The legal fight over the house started almost as soon as I landed. My lawyer back home called to tell me she was refusing to sell or buy me out. Instead, she was suing me for emotional distress, breaking a promise to marry, which I never made, and, get this, to force me to pay half the cost of major home improvements that she and her ex had apparently done. The invoices she provided were insane. $15,000 for landscaping, $10,000 for a kitchen refresh, $8,000 for bathroom fixtures. All done by some company I'd never heard of, all dated within the last few months. Conveniently during her grief support weekends. My lawyer was livid. This is garbage and she knows it. She's trying to bury you. I strongly suggest we hire a PI to look into this company and her connection to this ex. I told him to spare no expense. 2 weeks later, he called me on video chat, looking like he'd seen a ghost. You are not going to believe this, he said. The company on the invoices is a Shell Corp P.O. box for an address. And the owners are, you guessed it, your ex-girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend. A ball of ice formed in my gut. You're kidding me. It gets worse, he said, sharing his screen. We dug into them. This isn't their first rodeo. We found 2 other guys they pulled this on in the last 5 years. The pattern is identical. He finds a target with good credit. She works her magic. They buy a house. They do some cheap DIY work. Create fake invoices from her shell company for 10 times the cost, and then she manufactures a breakup. The guy, desperate to get away, either agrees to a buyout where they pocket the fake renovation costs, or they drag him through court. They split the profits and find the next guy. He paused to let it sink in. Oh, and the ex's supposedly deceased mother? She's alive and kicking. Owns a flower shop in Florida. We sent someone to buy a bouquet. The floor dropped out from under me. It wasn't just a messy breakup. It was a cold, calculated, predatory fraud. The weekends, the fake grief, the ultimatum, it was all par con. I wasn't her boyfriend. I was her mark. The anger was so intense it felt like it was going to burn a hole through my chest. They hadn't just played me. They had tried to systematically ruin me. What's our move? I asked, my voice calm in a way that scared even me. My lawyer got a nasty grin on his face. We don't react. We attack. We're not just going to win a civil case. We're going to burn their entire scam to the ground. The plan was beautiful in its brutality. We let their lawsuit move forward, letting them get cocky. We agreed to a formal mediation. I flew back, feeling like a Terminator walking into that conference room. They were already there, whispering and smiling with their lawyer. She looked great, happy even. When she saw me, she flinched, but the ex put a hand on her arm, and she straightened up, all smug confidence. Their lawyer launched into a speech about my cruel abandonment and presented the fake invoices, their demand. I signed over the house and paid them an extra $50,000 for their trouble. When he was done, my unassuming, quiet lawyer stood up. Thank you, he said gently. We have a counteroffer. My client will sign over the house. In exchange, your clients will sign these full confessions we've drafted, shut down their fraudulent company, and return the $27,450 they illegally transferred from my client's joint account. Their lawyer laughed. A confession? Don't be ridiculous. Is it? My lawyer asked, sliding a folder across the table. This is a sworn statement from another man your clients defrauded 3 years ago using the exact same scheme. The color drained from my ex's face. My lawyer slid over another folder. These are bank statements showing 25 separate wire transfers from the joint household account directly to your shell company over the last 6 months. That's not reimbursement. That's felony wire fraud. The ex was starting to sweat. And this, my lawyer said, putting a final folder on the table. This is a picture of a lovely woman watering flowers outside her shop in Sarasota yesterday. It's your mother, isn't it? He asked the ex. She looks fantastic for a dead person. You could have heard a pin drop. Their lawyer was just staring at them, his jaw on the floor. My ex looked like she was going to throw up. My offer is good for 10 minutes, my lawyer said, looking at his watch. You sign, you return the money, and this remains a civil matter. You don't. And this entire package goes to the district attorney this afternoon. You'll be trading a lawsuit for a prison sentence. They didn't sign. They actually thought they could talk their way out of it. Time's up, my lawyer said, packing up his files. We'll see you in court. Or, more likely, at your arraignment. As we walked out, I heard my ex start to sob. It was the most satisfying sound in the world. The DA's office jumped on the case. With our evidence and the testimony from the other victim, my ex and her partner were arrested 2 weeks later on multiple felony charges. Their assets, including the house, were frozen. But I wasn't done. The investigation had uncovered their list of potential future targets. I set up an anonymous email account and sent the entire file, the bank records, the other victim's story, everything, to every man on that list. A couple of them even emailed me back to thank me. The cherry on top was for the ex. I found out he was running another scam, collecting donations for a fake charity in his dead mother's name. I sent that proof to an investigative reporter at the local paper. The front page story about the hometown hero who faked his mom's death to scam his neighbors ran a week later. Their lives were incinerated. My ex's parents called me, crying, begging me to have mercy. They said she was a good girl who just got mixed up with a bad person. I listened to their whole speech. When they were done, I sent one last text to my ex's number. You're absolutely right. Then I blocked all of them. It's been a year now. They were convicted, and I got all my money back. London is home now, and life is good. It's crazy to think how close I came to being just another casualty of their scam. So if your partner is spending a suspicious amount of time with a grieving ex, maybe it's time to check more than just their text messages. And while you're at it, you should probably hit subscribe for more life advice.